Hello, my name is Adrienne Atkinset. Welcome to my channel. I have over 20 AeroGardens, and I've been using AeroGarden for over 10, 15 years. However, I decided that I wanted to grow vertically. So with that, I've been investing in the Gardyn system. So I'm expanding my hydroponics. But I'm not going to scrap my 20 plus AeroGarden systems. I want them to work together interchangeably. So in this video, I will show you how I start seeds using the AeroGarden Seed Starter Kit and making it work for my garden adventure. So without any further ado, let's talk about starting seeds. Now, with the AeroGarden, the way that I start seeds is I use the seed starter kit. And the seed starter system, which I think they developed more for outdoor gardening, but I use it for my AeroGardens. But the seed starter kit has several little places where you can put the AeroGarden sponges. And you simply place the sponges in the holes. And then you take your seeds and however you want to do them, from your hand or from some container, and you put them in. And you then, it's meant to work with the different models of the AeroGarden. This one is for the harvest, which is what I use to start seeds. So the harvest is a 6-unit system. So you take this deck off, and you also take the little pump spout off. And I usually put those right along in the box so that they're together. And then I take my seed starting system and I set it up. Now, I tried just adding water to the seed starter system, and I found that it takes a little bit longer for the seeds to get going. So I follow the instructions on the AeroGarden food and go ahead and start the seeds. So the first few days I'll use just water, but eventually, as soon as I see a sprout, I'll add the amount recommended of the AeroGarden food, because I found that if I wait for the first true leaves, it takes a while. The nice thing about this food is it buffers the water. So it helps my water to be within the correct pH that the seeds love for getting started. And in addition to that, having the light, down on the seeds is an excellent way too. So I'm demonstrating how it is that in this video, I'm demonstrating how it is that I start seeds in the AeroGarden and then take them to the garden system. I'm showing you how I adapt the AeroGarden to fit the Y cubes from the seed starter kit. So there are a few things that you can do. One thing that I like about the AeroGarden system is that it's enclosed. There's a label that you put over it, so you don't get a lot of algae on the sponge. And when you plant this one, there's going to be algae. And to me, I just don't like the way the slimy algae looks. Doesn't really hurt the plants. A little bit never hurts. But I've devised a system to keep the algae also off of the garden sponges. And they do sell covers now once your seeds sprout. But with AeroGarden, you can get your seeds sprouted with a minimal amount of algae. So I've been working between the two systems. So that's pretty much it. After I have put the seeds together and I've covered the AeroGarden pod either with a label as I demonstrated in the video that's playing alongside of me, either with the label or one that's already existing. I simply place it in a net cup, 2-inch net cup that has the bottom cut out. And I demonstrated that in another video. So if you want to check out the latest video going from garden to my garden studio, I have quite a demonstration of that, how I do that. But I cut the bottoms out of the net cups, and now they fit perfectly in the garden system. Okay. So here I'm demonstrating how I put a label on the AeroGarden net cup. Now I get these labels as well as the AeroGarden cups and sponges in a kit, and I've included a link to that kit in the description. I like this particular cover because it's reflective of the light. So I use this particular kit. And as I said, it comes with the sponges also. Here I'm wrapping the new little roots around the sponge so they're not damaged as I push them into the net cup, into the AeroGarden net cup. Now I am taking the foil that I use to block the light from the garden system on the 2-inch net cup with the bottom cut out, and I'm putting the AeroGarden net cup into that particular net cup. And once again, I'll have links for you. My associate links will be in the description. So please support the channel and use the associate links if you decide that you need any of these products. At this point, I'm ready to plant my little seedlings into my garden system. So I'm in my office farm and I have a garden, and it's already populated with plants from that were started in other AeroGarden systems and have matured, mostly tomatoes, watermelon. But now I have the garden system, and I'm going to put these little seedlings into the garden towers. I'll take away the foil covers that I was using to block the light and simply replace them with the 3 seedlings that I prepared for the system. Now, within the cup, there is a little bit of water for the sponges. And the seeds need that water and the nutrients that are in that water. But I like to start the pump and the water system right after putting the seedlings in so they can get some fresh water. You can see me here just sticking my finger in there to try to show you that there's water in there. And so there is a little bit of water there, but I'm going to use the Gardyn app in order to start a watering cycle so that these seedlings that I've just put into my garden system can get some water. So with the garden system, it uses the phone in order to operate the system. It uses an app in order to operate the system. And that was almost a turnoff to me. But the reason I went with the garden system is the pump only runs like 3 times a day. And the Y, they call these the Y cups. They have a little bit of water in there, so the sponges stay nice and warm, and then the water runs 3 times a day as opposed to constantly running. And my system is in my dining room, in my kitchen, in my office. I don't have a spare basement or anything where water sounds can be constantly running. So I do like it to be quiet or listen to my music or television without hearing the sound of water. And when I do hear the sound of water, I like it because it's not going on continuously. So that was one of the reasons I went with the Gardyn, because I felt that it was a superior design for the type of food that I'm growing, which is basically lettuce, tomatoes, um, and I have my farms, herbs, peppers, and I do have my AeroGarden farms, which I will show you the green beans that I just harvested in a different video. So the app, you use the app to start the water, to stop the water, and I can demonstrate that in the video that I'll play a side of me. And you just use it to stop the water, start the water, as well as see the water level. And it's very intuitive. It's not a difficult app to operate, and it just works. So I guess you're saying, well, what happens if the internet's not working? Well, the internet would have to not be working for several days in order to, more than a few days in order to affect your system. And if you don't have reliable internet, this may not be the system for you. But my internet is pretty reliable, and I'm enjoying being able to use the app to control, to see what's going on with my systems. I also have my Aero Gardens on an app, and I can see what their water levels are as well as how they're doing. And this is important to me because I'm going away for 3 weeks. So I want the person who will be watering for me, I want to be able to direct them to what system, how much water to put in it, and so forth. So that was another reason that I went with the vertical garden, because the garden behind me holds 5 gallons of water. My AeroGarden farms hold 2 gallons of water, and the garden studio holds 4 gallons of water. So two 2 gallons of water, 4 gallons of water. These little guys, when I travel, I usually shut them all down because no one's gonna walk around my house and water these on a daily basis. And I have sprouts and all types of aero gardens. So I usually try to condense down so that only my plants that are long standing, like my peppers, my tomatoes, anything that's a fruiting plant that takes several months in order to mature and to fruit, or at least a month, 2 months to mature and fruit, those I'd like to keep going. But I usually will consume all my lettuces, my kale, my collards, my mustards, um, and I think I'm going to have some green beans growing while I'm away, because all the green beans were so good. So basically, that's how you do it. That's how you go from the seed starter kit to the AeroGarden, no, the seed starter kit to the garden system. Thank you for joining me.